Today we would be talking about the title of the play Look Back in Anger by John Osborne. We had earlier talked about this play in general. Today we would be talking about the title in particular. This title, Look Back in Anger, reflects a panorama of interpretations. It could be the anger of the author, it could be the anger of the characters, it could be the circumstances or the society which is angry at large. Now, there are undercurrents of crisis and conflicts that seem to run through the micro and macro units of society. The various threads of psychological interpretations, the roots in history, and political waves of the times that one has to go through to interpret the anger which is there in the main character, Jimmy Porter, and as for the dissatisfaction of most of the characters of this play. Now, this play is reflecting upon the post-war cruelties, the dehumanizations, and the threat of war, or what are the effects of war, or the intellectual and emotional imbalances of the people of the middle class and the lower class in general. Now, Jimmy's anger exposes social hypocrisy, and he is most of the time he is angry or irritated about the hypocritic behavior of the society, and he knows that he cannot do anything. And he is a middle class person, he is educated, but he has nowhere to go. He does not have proper livelihood, and he has a family, he has his wife to look after, and somewhere he has a great inferiority complex that he is not able to look after his wife, his family in a proper way, or he is underemployed, or he is not employed at times. So he is left without dreams. There is no brave new world where he can look up to, and the idea of American dream, or the idea of a world where everybody would be happy, or there would be a classless society, and everybody would be with an employment, or everybody would be living with respect, or everybody would be living happily with his family without any dilemmas, or without any contradictions. All these things are so much visible that in his character, that we all the time we feel that Jimmy is facing a dilemma. He wants to live happy, he wants to be loved, he wants to give love, but at the same point of time he is not being able to get love, is not being able to give love. And there is his past. He has a troubled childhood. He is angry, angry about the treatment which his father got, or the treatment which his mother got, and he somewhere does not like his mother. He has a hatred towards all women in general, and there is Allison, who is at the target of this hatred. And Allison is all loving, but at the same point of time she does not know at points, at moments she does not know how to handle Jimmy. Jimmy wants an unconditional love from Allison, but Allison or he wants an unconditional love from society. He is in a great need of love, he is in a great need of being consoled, he is in a great need of being cared by everyone, especially by his wife. But somewhere he feel his own neurotic disposition, or his own anger, or his own irritating behavior, or his own aggressiveness, or his own arguments, or his own anger, that makes him live in isolation, because somewhere he himself builds a wall between himself and the other world, between himself and Allison. So even the people who are loving him like anything, they are moving away from him, they are every time going away from him. Even Allison, who who is so much dedicated for him is moving away from him. And then when we see that these characters, they are divided into two classes. A family is divided into two classes. Ellison is belonging to upper class, whereas Jimmy is belonging to middle class. So somewhere we find that he has a social despair. He is his inconsistent mind and psychology, which verges on paradoxes and sadistic behavior or neurotic disposition. They all are reasons as well as causes of his anger. So there is a vicious circle. There is a vicious circle that is in which Jimmy finds himself entrapped, and he does not know how to come out of this circle. And this circle is in fact is a circle like in the present you are dissatisfied, you think about past, in the past memories also give you dissatisfaction, they give you pain, they give you suffering, there is no hope, and in the present there is no hope. And then when you go to future, when you think about future, then again there is no hope. So this vicious circle which rises from the past, which has an existence in the present, and which goes beyond present, goes to future, then again there is no hope. So in this vicious circle, when the author gives the title Look Back in Anger, we can think about the justification of such a title, because why would one look back? One would always look back if one is nostalgic about his past, or if one is angry about his past. In this case, a person is angry about his past, and his past is not a great past, it's an ordinary past. So you do not have any place which can give you solace. So when you look back to find peace, or when you look back to find happiness, you are almost left without anything, because your past does not give you anything, your present does not give you anything, and with your economic, social or marital positions, you do not have anything that you would make a mark in the future. So the future is also a hopeless one. So in this way, when you look back with anger, because at present you are dissatisfied, and you look back for a hope. There is no hope in the past, and there is no hope in the future. Now marital love could be one of the factors which could give you some solace, but marital love also requires a partner who is very understanding, a partner who is very sacrificing, a partner who is ready to efface oneself. Now in this case, Allison and Jim, they make very good partners. In fact, if Jimmy is aggressive, Allison is very polite and kind, but at the same point of time, they when they play games like squirrel and bear, these games act as catharsis to them. But they would this catharsis or this purgation would be useful, or will have utility only when one of the partners is ready to lose in the game, is ready to let other win in the game. It is a game of life, and if one of the partners wins, I think we do not need both the partners to win in this game. Any one of the partners, whether it is Jimmy, or whether it's Allison, if one of them is ready to lose, then I think they could cope up, or there would be less anger and more happiness for them. And Osborne has given a very traditional or conventional ending to this play. He has brought the couple together. Both the couples come back to their marital life, and they are faithful to each other, because they do not think of leaving each other. In fact, they think of living with each other. So I think it has, with all the negative connotations, this play has a positive message, and that message is about living in mutual respect for each other, in living in mutual love and faith for each other. Thank you.